Listen, check it out now. All right, man. Young Thugger mother effer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know, man, Young Thug actually scored a small, very small legal victory in his racketeering case. Now, if you guys don't know, pretty much him and 27 other people in YSL were charged with Rico. Okay, essentially, him, Gunna, and the rest of them, they claim not only are they musicians and run a record label, they're also a criminal enterprise. Now, here's the thing about what Thug is facing, okay? Even though there is no actual ties to Thug pulling a trigger, killing nobody, trying to kill nobody, they're pretty much saying he's liable for other people who got shot or who got killed because he's calling the shots. He's the head of the organization. Nothing goes on without his approval. That's the case with a Rico. That's why they love to use it. So Young Thug will probably be facing the maximum penalty even though he never ever picked up a gun, at least from the charges levied against him. Now, here's the thing. We heard recently that the prosecutor been going real hard trying to get his lawyer off the case. And you might be saying, why? Like, who cares about what lawyer Thug got? Now, apparently, Thug got one of the best lawyers in Atlanta. And from what has been said by, like a reputable journalist out of the area, they said there are 3 attorneys in the Atlanta area equivalent to, if you guys don't or know the reference, Saul Goodman, okay? You ever watch Breaking Bad? You ever watch the spinoff to Breaking Bad or whatever the case? If you need help, you got to call Saul, okay? One is Brian Steele, okay? That obviously is the lawyer for Thug. Drew Finland, is the lawyer for YFN Lucci. And Steve Sado, which is the lawyer for Gunna, okay? So clearly, the people who got the money, the long checkbook, you're probably going to have to spend a couple $1 million for this case. This is going to drag on. This won't be resolved by January, whatever they're saying that trial will be. It'll be postponed. It'll be dragged on, motions after motions, more and more discovery. They're going to be vetting all type of witnesses and trying to comb this case through and also trying to get a bunch of stuff thrown out to help these guys. But it's going to take a lot of manpower by some really good attorneys, okay? Now, if you're wondering, okay, so we get it. They didn't want this guy to be on Thug's case because he's a really good lawyer. Well, I'll tell you something more than he's a really good lawyer. He's actually had a really good reputation of beating these serious cases. He's got a lot of stuff thrown out in court, and he's took stuff to trial. He's actually won. So they don't want that guy, okay? That guy is like, the Steph Curry to join, okay? They want him to have somebody else. Now, how could they make you not have your lawyer? Well, this is what they're saying about Brian Steele. Brian Steele is like the guy who represents all of the YSL stuff, right? Which means he's represented he's actually most of the YSL charged defendants. He's represented them in other cases. Now, in one particular incident, they're saying that, hey, not only is there going to be a conflict because he's a former attorney for some of the other guys that are charged, but they're not going to bring that up because obviously they all rock with Thug. They're bringing up the fact that there was a particular situation that the attorney made a personal call to one of the defendants and told them, hey, turn yourself in. Okay, basically, also, they claim the attorney took a confession from the guy. Now, that's a whole bunch of legal speak to basically say the lawyer could be a witness in the case against one of these guys' associated cases. I hope you guys understand. I'll try to repeat to make it more clear. So one of the other niggas who's charged with Thug, he had some type of case. Eventually, he turned himself into the cops, but he called the lawyer before. It was like, yo, what should I do? Blah, blah, blah. He told him a bunch of stuff. And apparently, he turned himself in on the suggestion of the lawyer, Brian Steele. Now, they used that phone call later in court to say the guy isn't a flight risk because he called the lawyer basically almost like it was either a confession or he gave a statement, right, to the lawyer. And basically that was used in court to later make sure that guy could get bond. Now they're saying because of that, that means the lawyer is now a witness in a related case for one of the associated people. And because he's a witness, it is a conflict of interest that he could be representing somebody else on the case because, hey, if you are incentivized by money to represent Thug, imagine if it's a conflict where you have to now testify what you did in that situation where you the witness. You might lie. You might say other things. Okay, and by the way, salute to Brian Steele. I ain't going to call him a liar, but I know he want that bread bad. That dude was up in court. He said Thug ain't take drugs since 2016. I ain't say Thug take drugs. I don't know. But when he made that statement bold as hell, I was like, this the guy. Okay, he willing to say anything. By the way, the prosecutor, like later on in the case or the hearing, they shot down what he said because they were like, yo, we listen to Thug jail calls, and Thug been on the phone complaining about withdrawals, how he don't do drugs, okay? Anyway, Thug scored a minor legal victory. He's allowed to keep his lawyer. Good for him, but there's a long way to go, okay? If you're going to go to trial, you want to have the best with you, and you do got the best, all right? Get in the comments, but you guys like and subscribe to Akademiks. Come on.